What's going on, guys? Black Scout Survival. So Hunter Biden was found guilty of felony gun charges, faces 25 years in prison. If you recall, he applied, did his gun form, and he was a drug user. And so they brought that back, and he was convicted. I'm actually pretty shocked it happened. But anyway, I was at the gym today, and I saw they've got a lot of TVs, and they had CNN on one of them. That, they're all the different news and sports and stuff, but CNN was on there talking about it, and they talked more about Donald Trump during this gun charge ordeal, saying that he's not showing compassion, that his Trump's brother was an alcoholic, he should understand addiction. And then they started talking about Second Amendment rights. He said, where's the NRA? Why isn't Trump backing him? Because of the Second Amendment. It's crazy that now all of a sudden that these Democrats, these CNN is all of a sudden pro Second Amendment when it suits them. Jeez, my video just kicked off. Weird. Anyway, so I know a lot of people are up in arms about it, whether he should be convicted or not, because the Second Amendment. And I'd like to know your thoughts on that. My thing is that the justice system has gone awry. So it's political persecution. So I mean, I'm down for it. Usually I wouldn't be. I'd be pro anyone for firearms, but this is one of those things. But Trump did release a statement, Trump campaign statement on Hunter Biden trial verdict and Biden crime family. This trial has been nothing more than a distraction from the real crimes of the Biden crime family, and which is ranked in tens of millions of dollars from China, Russia, and Ukraine. Crooked Joe Biden's reign over the Biden criminal empires all coming to an end November 5th, and never again will Biden sell government access to personal profit. So that was Trump's response, and they're saying, oh, he's not showing compassion, he should be backing him, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I got some sabotage, Yeah, we all got the glitch, guys. They don't like us. Anyway, let's talk about this very, very serious thing now. The ATF has been going off the hinges, and conducting no-knock raids, shooting people, you name it. So this actually happened up the street from me. This gentleman here, on Wednesday, December 13th, he went to work. His name is Brian Montian Wilson, 33-year-old resident up the street in West Columbia, South Carolina. He had never been in trouble with the law. At 6 a.m., he began his shift at Harsco Rails on West Technology Drive, where he worked as a material processor for the railroad equipment manufacturer. A couple hours later, Wilson's supervisor found him on the facility floor and told him to report to the main office. Inside were two men and a woman, all wearing civilian clothes. They told Wilson they were ATF agents and that they had a warrant for his arrest. They didn't show him a badge. They just handcuffed and searched him. He didn't resist. He complied fully with their demands. He told agents that he was diabetic and that he needed to have something to eat. So his supervisor allowed him to retrieve a Pop-Tart, fruit juice, and blood sugar monitor from his locker. Wilson was walked out of Harsco in handcuffs in front of all his co-workers, embarrassing him, shaming him. And in the parking lot, he saw two more agents searching his vehicle. Now, they charged him with 5 counts of possession and intent to distribute a controlled substance, and 3 counts of possession of a firearm and furtherance of a drug trafficking offense. He faced 115 years in federal prison and more than $17 million in fines. The indictment sought to forfeit all his personal property and money, so everything he owned. He's never been arrested, never has gotten in trouble, and Wilson kept telling his attorney that this has to be a mistake, that he's just a hardworking man. He goes to work every day, and he knows nothing about this. He's not a drug dealer. They pushed this through. Okay, they come and rushed him through, took him to court. He got an attorney there, and so they arraigned him before a magistrate judge and read off the charges. An ATF agent testified that Wilson under surveillance has been under surveillance past 13 months. But that was a lie. They hadn't. They listed several dates which Wilson allegedly sold drugs to undercover ATF agent, which didn't happen. He claimed that Wilson was on tape committing these crimes and that other confidants had been arrested as well, or co-defendants. Wilson pleaded not guilty. Again, they didn't have any tapes. They said they did, never showed any video of Wilson committing any crimes. The judge was willing to schedule a bond, but the prosecutors wanted Wilson to be held, didn't want to let him out. After the hearing, Wilson continued to tell his attorney that there has to be a mistake. This is not him. So going back to these false reports, now, according to some court documents, the West Columbia Police Department, 2 officers there, Calvin Brown and David Thompson, who were assigned to an ATF task force, supposedly working under ATF supervision, conducted a series of gun and drug purchases from some folks and someone they identified as Mr. Wilson. What does that sound like? That sounds real familiar to another case we're going to talk about in a moment. According to the officer's reports, the person that the officers bought guns and drugs from, they surveilled him and was listed by his name, Brian Wilson. Their reports even listed his actual home address. They described him as a 33-year-old black male, 5 foot 10 inches, with black hair and brown eyes. That description matches tons of Americans and local to this area. So their reports document numerous undercover purchases of crack cocaine, meth, and numerous firearms from someone they said was Wilson. So did they really purchase these firearms? Did they really buy these drugs? Or did they just say Wilson did it? Now, I would like to know who Brian Wilson voted for. What does he post on his social media? Because that's something's very strange about this. So on March 15th, the officers wrote a controlled purchase for 2 firearms for the price of $1,900 and 29 grams of meth for the price of $280 from a suspect identified as Brian Wilson, and with the use of informants and undercover officers. But one huge problem. Brian Wilson never sold any guns or drugs to any ATF agents, their informants, or anyone else. ATF had the wrong guy. They were about to put this man in prison for 115 years with a $17 million fine. So Wilson had a public defender. This dude, good to go, because he got it figured out. He said after the arraignment, the public defender persuaded prosecutors to keep Wilson at the courthouse long enough for him to investigate Wilson's claims of innocence. No documentation exists about this process or how it happened, but the ATF all of a sudden dropped all charges and dismissed the case. They offered no written explanation or any verbal explanation. They just dropped the case, dismissed it. They said they had 6 months of surveillance, that they had him at the scene selling guns to ATF agents. Now, the federal complaint was sealed. Oh, how does that work? You just seal the complaint so it can't be seen by the public. Because this is what's going on. This DOJ political glitch, I guess. These glitches are unreal at this moment. So they don't want this video up. However, the allegations Wilson's attorney included in his civil lawsuit are very similar to, guess who? Brian Malinowski. I'm surprised they don't shut the video down for me even saying this guy's name. Brian Malinowski, 53-year-old Arkansas airport executive, whom the ATF agents shot and killed in his home on March 19th. This was around the same time that Brian Malinowski was murdered in his home. Isn't that very ironic that we have a local guy here that have pretty much the same allegations as Brian Malinowski? Now, the difference is they didn't go pick Brian Malinowski up at work. They no-knock raided him at 6 a.m. and shot him in the head. The ATF claimed that they made several undercover purchases from Malinowski. They said they had also surveilled him for months. So Malinowski, because he's dead, he can't refute those allegations or file a civil lawsuit. So Mr. Wilson is very, very lucky he did not get a no-knock raid, because he would have been in the same situation as Brian Malinowski. I'm telling you, the DOJ has completely gone off the hinges. They're targeting people and without evidence, saying they have evidence. Then they seal documents so you can't see what exactly they supposedly got you on. Luckily, Brian Wilson is able to do a civil lawsuit. Unfortunately, Brian Malinowski is not. Both of their first names are Brian, too. And this happened around the same time period. Again, March 19th. And actually, his was December 13th. So not too far apart. But the thing is that they said on March 15th, the officers wrote a controlled purchase for 2 firearms. So we have instances of ATF falsely accusing people of crimes about, I mean, that Brian Wilson was almost put away. Like they shuttled him in there, almost not even giving him a time for fair trial. He had a public defender, and you know, a lot of times public defenders, it's a toss-up, man. You could get one that don't care. They're just in there to do their service or what have you. So he's very lucky he had a good public defender. That gentleman will still be behind bars. This is a complete, it should show you a complete breakdown of our system, that we have the government targeting people. And again, I would love to know the backstory on Malinowski. I want to know what exactly is his social media, if he has it. What does he post? Who did he vote for? What did he know? What did he know about who? And what did Brian Wilson post about to get on a targeted list? Right? What is his political preference? What has he posted about? Maybe he's posted some things about Joe Biden, right? Now, if you don't know, Ukraine just posted from Zelensky down, his whole group just posted an enemies list of Americans. Anybody from Jordan Peterson, you got Trump on there, you got DeSantis, you've got various social media influencers, you got Andrew Tate on there, you got a ton of other people. I think Joe Rogan's on there. They posted an enemies list, and this is with people that work with our government on the Democrat side. They posted a targeted list of people against Ukraine. So we have to wonder exactly what's going on. Anyhow, guys, it seems to be that we keep having YouTube freezing us right now, because obviously we're speaking the truth. A lot of people having glitches. Yep, exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this short tonight, guys. I apologize. I'll try to make another video maybe tomorrow afternoon, discuss some more of these sort of things. But again, man, it is horrific. And be frosty, guys. Be frosty. You get that no-knock raid at 6 a.m. because you posted something on Facebook, right? And they say they've been surveilling you for 6 months and you've been doing X, Y, and Z. Anyhow, guys, just be very careful. Post in the comments, share the video so people know about this, right? You know, it's horrible. This young man right here was about to have his freaking life ruined. He's got a family. He was shamed at work, carried out in handcuffs. Good, hardworking man. This gentleman right here killed it in front of his wife in his own home. It's horrific. It's disgusting. And the tides have got to change. Anyhow, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Make sure you share this video. I want people to know about this guy, because no news is talking about this. It's local to my area, and that's the only reason why I knew about it. Nobody's talking about it. Share it far and wide. Let everybody know about it. And tell all your friends at work tomorrow. And remember to stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous. Take care.